This is a stimulus check update and daily news report. Got a lot of important updates to share with you. Two new cities are giving out $500 checks. One is a stimulus check, the other is a $500 monthly check. We'll go over this false article. Fourth stimulus check, $2,000 confirmed by Joe Biden, criteria, tax refund, and more. When it comes to the Build Back Better, Joe Manchin recently received a donation from a billionaire right after opposing the Build Back Better deal. I'll give you more details on that. Plus, I'll play you a video clip from the Commerce Secretary about the Build Back Better. Elizabeth Warren pushing for $50,000 in student loan forgiveness again. I'll let you know what she said. And if the economy is so great as economists are saying, why are there no jobs and why is everything so expensive? I'll have a video clip explaining those answers, and I'll give you some other important updates as well. Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So AOC swipes at Joe Manchin saying he has a different demand every day and is making it tough for Democrats to pass Biden's economic agenda. So I played you a video clip of AOC talking about Manchin yesterday, and I love this picture. It's really funny. You can see AOC looking at Manchin really mad, and Manchin is smiling. It's a really funny picture. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez criticized Manchin for holding up Biden's economic agenda. This idea of just give him what he wants. He's been given everything he wants, she said. And Democrats are returning to the drawing board on Build Back Better after Manchin torpedoed it. So Democrats are going to rebrand it, rename it, and redo everything about the Build Back Better. We still haven't had any news on what it's going to look like yet. Republican billionaire Ken Langone donated to Joe Manchin's PAC after Senator opposed Build Back Better's Biden's Build Back Better Act. So we all remember when Joe Manchin came out and said, hey, I'm not supporting this, although he said it multiple times, but when he was on Fox News and said it, billionaire investor Ken Langone and his wife each contributed $5,000 to Senator Joe Manchin's leadership PAC in late December. The contribution just arrived over a week ago after Manchin announced he would not back President Biden's social spending and climate package. So I want to ask you this. Is this a big deal that Joe Manchin, so the Ken Langone and his wife, so that's $10,000, $5,000 each. Is that a big deal that it was donated to his campaign? I feel like that's not a lot compared to how much other politicians are getting. So $10,000, is this a big deal? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, progressives apply pressure on Biden and Senate to pass the Build Back Better. Really, all the pressure needs to be on Manchin because it's President Biden has nothing to do with this. President Biden is sort of helpless in this situation. There's only so much the president could do. It's all up to the Senate, and not even just the Senate, but mainly Joe Manchin. So Pramila Jayapal said this: public housing residents have endured devastating fires. The cost of insulin and other prescription drugs continue to crush working people, and parents are desperate for childcare support. This desperately needed relief cannot be delayed any longer. So yeah, progressives, Democrats, they're all trying to get the Build Back Better. It is just not happening. Manchin is not having it. Also, this article came out. Swing state voters concerned about Build Back Better's impact on inflation. Are you concerned about Build Back Better and in terms of inflation? According to this poll, it was saying 57% of respondents believe Build Back Better, when described as a multi-trillion-dollar spending package, will worsen inflation. Meanwhile, 63% of those surveyed believe now is the time to pass major spending bills. So what is your thoughts on this? Is it going to Build Back Better, is it going to worsen inflation? Is it going to decrease inflation? What are your thoughts on that? Here is the Commerce Secretary talking more about the Build Back Better.
Let's talk about those roads and bridges and other plans you have. Just yesterday, you, the president, and a number of CEOs met to talk about the Build Back Better plan. What came out of that? We've heard Joe Manchin says he's ready to talk again.
Yes, it couldn't have been clearer. We had a number of leading CEOs across industries, financial services, technology, software, cars, industrials, all of them said it's time to pass Build Back Better. Because although the economy is strong, and they know that, the investments in Build Back Better they're investments in the future of the economy. So Brad Smith of Microsoft pointed out the obvious fact, which is women can't be productive members of the labor force if they can't find or afford childcare. So let's invest in affordable childcare. They all talked about how vital and urgent the climate change investments are. Can't wait anymore. The economy can't wait. The planet can't wait. So it was basically what they said was, we are here because we know the economy will be better, create more jobs, more productive capacity. That's what we're trying to do here, get more people back into the labor force, more skilled people. All of them talked about the need for more technically trained workforce. So these are good investments for long-term growth. And, I think anyone who says this is a social spending program and not good for business, or the business doesn't support it, they're just dead wrong. We had a dozen CEOs of leading companies who went on the record to urge the president, let's get this done as fast as we can. Our businesses need it and we'll be better for it.
What are your thoughts on this? Is the Build Back Better ever going to pass? Am I going to be talking about, are my grandkids going to be on the show and they're going to be talking about the Build Back Better almost passing? We'll see. I don't have any grandkids yet, by the way. So CNBC survey, 81% of adults with student loans say they've had to delay key life milestones. So when it comes to student loans, a lot of people are saying that it should be canceled, 10,000 up to 50,000. I'll get to that in a moment. But according to the survey, 81% of people with student loans say they've had to delay one or more key life milestones because of their debt. So, all right. So 42% delayed paying off other loans, 40% delay investing money, 38% delay saving for retirement, for 35% delay travel, 33% delay buying a home, 16% delay having a baby, 14% delay getting married. So so here it is right here in terms of milestones of why people are not doing these things because they have student loans. And then the majority of borrowers say taking on federal student loan debt is not worth it, according to the same survey, just talking about it. So basically, 44% said taking on debt was worth it. Meanwhile, 54% it is not worth it. So that's the same survey, just giving different information. Do you have any student loans? Should student loans be forgiven, or should it not be forgiven because it was the student's choice? What are your thoughts on all this? Let me know down in the comments below. So Elizabeth Warren, a big advocate for student loans being forgiven. Elizabeth Warren said canceling $50,000 in student debt would give 36 million borrowers permanent total relief. So she had another town hall. She spoke at a town hall yesterday, Thursday, as part of a push for student loan forgiveness. She repeated arguments from a letter Democrats are urging President Biden to act immediately. The letter argued Biden should forgive $50,000 before the end of the payment pause. Is it going to happen? It doesn't seem likely. We haven't even heard anything from President Biden. President Biden doesn't really answer much questions in general, but we haven't heard the White House really talk about student loan forgiveness or the promise that was made on the campaign trail for President Biden to get into office. We haven't heard anything about that. But Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer, still on a weekly basis, they're talking about student loan forgiveness. Next, let's get into stimulus checks. So, fourth stimulus check. Will I get a fourth stimulus check? So, Americans are asking if there will be a fourth stimulus check in 2022. So, it doesn't seem likely. Also, this article right here, this is completely false. I came across this. It came out today, January 28th, but I had to share it. Fourth stimulus check, $2,000 confirmed by Joe Biden, criteria, tax refund, and more. So, this makes no sense at all. It's a fourth stimulus check, $2,000 confirmed. So a completely false headline. I haven't seen a false headline like this in a long time. So I actually read through this article because I was really curious what it would say. And then this sentence right here, they asked that the value of the checks, or it's talking about the petition. So they asked that the value of the check should be $2,000 and these checks should be given monthly to affected people. And then it says, however, Biden has not confirmed a fourth stimulus check, even though the headline here says $2,000 confirmed by Biden. So it makes no sense. Speaking of which, here is the petition right here, $2,000 per month to every American for a fourth stimulus check. It's at 3,026,000 signatures. And unfortunately, no general fourth stimulus check yet, despite a lot of support for it. We haven't heard any senators, any Congress members talking about it as they were in the past. They're just trying to get the Build Back Better as well as a few other things passed in general. Stimulus check, doesn't seem likely at the moment, although there are a lot of local stimulus checks. For example, residents of this city will get $500 stimulus checks. So this is Atlantic City, New Jersey, are giving out $500 stimulus checks to its residents. And then we have another one. Hundreds of Americans can now apply for monthly $500 payments for a year. Here's how to claim. So this is what's going on in Atlanta, Georgia for low earners, and it's part of the income mobility program for Atlanta community transformation called Impact. So basically you could apply for it now. Applications are open. So it's going to go to 300 residents for 12 months. You have to be 18, live in Atlanta, and have an income below 200%. And they're giving out $500 per month. So that's $6,000 for the year. Moving on to economy. U.S. economy grows as fourth quarter GDP shows strongest year in decades. Now, a lot of people are asking, if the economy is so strong, GDP is so high, unemployment is so low, then why is everything so expensive, and why are there so many jobs available signs around, and why are so many people struggling? Take a look at this video clip here. It answers a lot of those questions.
The Federal Reserve is suggesting it plans to raise interest rates as soon as March in an effort to fight inflation. NBC News correspondent Tom Costello explains.
Expectations.
Mona, we're going to interrupt right now and go to Steve Leisman with the Fed decision.
The committee expects it will, quote, soon be appropriate to raise the target range.
It's a central bank strategy to fight skyrocketing prices from grocery aisles to gas stations. The Federal Reserve suggesting it will soon start slowly raising interest rates.
I think there's quite a bit of room to raise interest rates without threatening the labor market.
Analysts believe the Fed will raise rates gradually in quarter-point steps beginning in March. Higher interest rates will likely lead to more expensive car and student loans, credit cards, and new home mortgages, even as home prices nationally are up 14% in a year. Here in Phoenix, where new home prices have jumped 30%, Jacob Dennitz and his wife Nicole are struggling to find a new home and fear it could soon be out of reach.
It's turned into more of a business transaction rather than our first time home buying experience together that should be fun and enjoyable.
The coming rate hikes follow an unprecedented 2 years.
The stock market plunging, the worst single-day drop in history.
In March of 2020, the new pandemic and fear of a deep economic rout pushed the market into a steep dive. The Fed quickly dropped interest rates to near zero, helping to support the economy and limit the recession. But 2 years later, consumers are paying more for everything from food and clothing to cars and gasoline.
As we're seeing inflation rise, that is a signal to the Federal Reserve that something needs to be done.
Tom Costello reporting there. Joining us now, former Treasury official, Morning Joe economic analyst Steve Ratner. Steve, good morning. I want to get to your charts in just a minute, but what did you make of the Fed's announcement, or at least its signal, that come March it will play with those rates a bit to do something about this inflation that's pushing up against 7% now?
Yes, it's something that we expected, the market expected. The Fed has been signaling that for a while now. And the only question is whether, in effect, they may have waited too long. As you know, inflation has gone up a lot. The economy is roaring. You just saw what's going on with house prices, which is a principal target of interest rate policy, to keep house prices from going up as fast as they've been going up. But we're trying to land a plane that is going at a very high speed at the moment, and the market is, as you saw in the stock market numbers, quite nervous about that. There are going to be a lot of interest rate hikes, but the question is, are there going to be so many that, contrary to what the chairman just said, it does affect the job market, it does affect growth, it does affect the overall economy. There are not a lot of examples of us trying to decelerate an economy with this much inflation this quickly without it having an effect on economic growth and even possibly ending in a recession.
Steve, we're 1 year into the Biden presidency, and by all accounts, I mean, if you look at the economy, at many indications, at many levels of the economy, we're doing very well. And yet you go into a store or you go to the gas station and the prices, the rise in prices shock you. So what is going on? What's happened? What can you tell us about?
Well, that's a great lead into my charts, Mike. Thanks so much.
Perfect.
So let's take a look at Biden's first year and how he's done on those 3 points, as well as a few other things and even a couple of non-economic things. So to your point, if you take a look at the chart, you can see that when we started the year, economists thought growth would be about 4.5%, which is very robust, but we were coming out of the pandemic. It ended at 5.6%, so well ahead of expectations. Unemployment, we thought, would be over 5% at the end of the year. It ended at 3.9%. So great overperformance on growth and on unemployment. But as you suggested, and as we all well know, inflation hit the highest level in 30 years, up 6.7%. That's the turquoise bar, obviously, compared to expectations of 2.2. So we got the inflation completely wrong.
So two questions for you. One, how does a quarter-point raise in the interest rates, as they indicated they might do, how does that tamp down inflation? And B, the big question you might not be able to answer, even you might not be able to answer this. Why is it that so many people don't want to go to work?
Well, those are two separate questions. Look, on the first question, nobody thinks a quarter point is going to make much of a difference. It's simply, as you saw again in Tom Costello's report, part of a process in which they go up, which they're expected to go up at least 4 times next year. So that would be a full percentage point. And then they go from there. And it's not unusual to go up half a point if you have to. There's a lot of division among economists about where interest rates are going, but some predict they're going to go up, they have to go up an awful lot to slow this economy down. And to your second question about why people don't want to go back to work, I think there are really 3 reasons, complicated questions, no one answer. But people were given a lot of money during the pandemic, a lot of stimulus checks, a lot of unemployment insurance. They still have health care concerns, and a lot of them simply don't want to go back to the old jobs they had. But if you take a look at this chart, you can see that, notwithstanding all that, we've had huge job creation. We had 6.4 million jobs created last year. Compared to an estimate of 4.7. And if you look back, this chart goes all the way back to 1951. It's 50% more jobs than have ever been created in a single year.
So what is your opinion on this? Is the economy good? Is the economy bad? What is your personal situation? Let me know down in the comments below. And that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Guys, I didn't see you there. Guys, can I tell you tip of the day because you know, I'm still in South Carolina. I know it looks like in a different place, but let's get over it. Can I tell you the thing that you should really, really actually do when someone's hurt or you're hurt? You should like really do something really good and help them out because they're hurt. You can't let a person hurt. Stay there. I know you guys would do such a great thing, even better than that. Like help them up or something. And you can too. So that's all the advice that I wanted to give to you today. And also this is my sister Kalaya. Say hi. Hi. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. Hopefully you're going to have a great and amazing weekend. We are going to the park right now after I finish this video. I'm going to go with the kids. The weather seems a little bit nicer outside than it was the past couple days. So we're just going to have some family time and stuff. Play at the playground. Hopefully you have a great day and a great weekend. If you want to check out my latest Wise Buys or Wise Vibes video, you could click up here and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.